How did we get together?
Newgrass Revival was playing at the Winnipeg Folk Festival.
A mutual friend kept telling me, you and Béla have to get together. You have to play with Béla.
And I was aware of Howard, but we'd never gotten together.
She kind of dragged me over. It's like, Howard, Béla, why don't you guys play? And we were in the lobby of the hotel, and he took his banjo out of his case and started playing, and I started playing.
And I started playing some of my tunes, and he started just freely playing on top of them, which I was amazed by, because they're really hard.
I believe we played till about 7 in the morning.
Wow, you know, he could play it. Also around that time, I got this telephone call.
I ended up calling Béla on the phone through a mutual friend, and that led to me playing bass for Béla over the telephone.
And he started doing all this crazy stuff on the bass that I had never heard anything like.
I was using some different bass techniques, very similar to what he does on the banjo, utilizing these 3 fingers.
And over the little telephone speaker, I remember it sounded kind of almost like a very low-pitched banjo. I was like, wow, that's pretty neat.
That ended up leading to me coming to Nashville, hanging out with Béla, and, you know, just having some fun.
It was just one of those spectacular jams where, like he made everything that I did sound right.
He said that he'd gotten asked to do a television show called The Lonesome Pine Special. Béla wanted to put together a band to play some of his more strange music. And Béla told me that he had met this harmonica player named Howard Levy, who was an amazing harmonica player and piano player. And then he said, well, I need a drummer. Do you know any drummers? And I said, well, you've got to hear what my brother's doing.
Thank you. Hey, this is my drum set.
And Béla calls me up, and I'm like, wow, who's this guy calling? And then he told me what it was about. Vic told him to call. I was like, oh, okay, so Vic told you about what I was doing.
He started telling me all about this contraption he was working on.
My fingers are the drumsticks.
And Béla said he didn't know what I was talking about, really. You know, he didn't know what I was doing. I sent him the videotape, and he said he still couldn't make heads or tails out of it.
So I was like, well, if the weird drum machine doesn't work out, I'll get him to play drums. So he gets here and he hooks it up and gets it working, and me and Victor and he sit down to play for the first time. And it's one of those times. It just felt right.
We did it, we set up, I played, it felt really good from the start.
Future Man was the first guy, Roy, we called him at that time, was the first guy I played with who had a feel that inspired me to play better.
Drums.
Had exactly 1 rehearsal together, which was the sound check.
All of a sudden it's showtime, and the show happens, and we're being filmed. I hadn't been filmed very much at that point, none of us had, and it was a very big, crazy day. But when the band walked on stage, it just happened.
Just like we opened the drawer when all this stuff came out, you know.
And I remember walking out of the place after packing up, and the whole night was over, walking to the car and saying, and I was like, holy cow.
At each other, and I think maybe I was the one who said, this feels like a band. Can we try this again sometime?
That led to the beginning of the Flecktones. We did this one television show, and it went so well that here we are 20-something years later, and we're still doing it.